Hello, welcome everybody to It's All About Love with Anna, for those who don't know me yet. So I hope you are all doing well. And so today we are going to be talking about Mother Teresa. We are going to continue talking about her. This is the 17th episode. For those who didn't watch the program, the previous programs, I would advise you to go and have a look at it from her birth up until her adulthood in 1984, apologies, 1984. So that's beautiful to be talking about Mother Teresa. In the last episode, we are talking about Mother Teresa flying to Ethiopia for Christmas. In Christmas time, she flew to Ethiopia because really to help the kids, the people in need, especially those we were dying because they didn't have food. It was an extreme famine in Africa, especially in Ethiopia. So Mother Teresa went there to support Ethiopia. And so in 1984, Mother Teresa's statistics were 4 million leprosy patients treated through the mobile clinics. The provision of dry rations it was very, very high, and she was, the association and Mother Teresa were just giving as much as they could and creating many centers around the world and admitting new homes and many people in new homes. So the statistics were very high for Mother Teresa according to what she was doing. And so after praying and waiting for so many years, in 1985, Mother Teresa's dream to go to China finally came. Because I'm not sure, I don't know if you watched the previous episodes. In one of the episodes I mentioned that Mother Teresa one day in Calcutta, went to the embassy of China, and she asked if she could go to China and create their homes to help the poor. And they said that there was no poverty. The people in China, in the embassy, they told Mother Teresa there was no poverty in China. It was not true, but Mother Teresa asked the Pope to pray for her to go to China, because everyone knew that China was a poor country. They needed a lot of help. And so finally in 1985, Mother Teresa could fly to China. And at her arrival, the Chinese government provided her with a building in Hong Kong to begin another Numal Idre. The people, for those who know what is a Numal Idre, it was the house that Mother Teresa opened for those who were dying in the streets, for those who didn't have anyone to look after them. She also visited a home for aged people and a factory for individuals with disabilities. Additionally, she had a holy mass, and against the private natural inclinations, she was installed in a brand new hotel. So, it was extraordinary because she didn't want to be installed in a expensive hotel. She wanted just to be in a simple thing, like the ones who didn't have a home. Maybe a hut would be enough for her, but it was against her natural inclinations. She had to be there in this hotel. And in the same year, and for the first time, Mother Teresa became aware of AIDS. For the first time in 1985, Mother Teresa became aware of AIDS. It was acquired immune deficiency syndrome. And she received a letter from someone in the United States in that year who described to her the suffering of those people affected with this disease, with it. And she saw once more Christ in his distressing disguise. She saw in them Jesus Christ suffering. She didn't see properly the people suffering, but Jesus Christ in them suffering with AIDS. And so she saw really on small Christ in them. And in June of that year, she visited 8 patients at George Washington University Hospital. And she asked many questions about the disease, because she had probably a general idea, but she didn't know the source. She didn't know deeply the reason and the causes and so many other factors that created that disease. And so she was asking all the time, she was asking lots of questions about this disease, how it started, what caused it, how it was diagnosed, and if there was a cure for this disease, for this ailment. And in December of that year, an AIDS hospice was opened in Newark, and in a speech she said that they were not there, the missions of charity and Mother Teresa were not there to judge those people. Their mission was to help them. Mother Teresa was never to judge anyone on the missionaries of charity. They were always there to help them to construct their life and their minds, their physical body, to help them. And so their mission was always to help them, to make their dying days more tolerable. Because AIDS is a terrible disease, especially in the 1980s. It was a terrible disease, and still is. And many people die of it. And so Mother Teresa knew that she still could help them by helping them, diminishing their suffering as they were dying. And Mother Teresa saw the victims of AIDS as the lepers of the West. Because, Mother Teresa opened many centers for lepers, especially in India. And lepers were people that, had to be far away from the other people, the people that didn't have leper. And the leper were not lepers. So they couldn't touch anything. They had to be probably in fields or mountains far away, like in old times, like in Jesus Christ's time. Many lepers were far away from the citizens. And so they were not considered normal citizens. They had to be far away. And so Mother Teresa considered these people affected by AIDS as lepers of the West. No one could approach them. No one could talk to them. They had to be far away. They had to be ignored. It was the mentality of that time in the 80s for the lepers, for the AIDS. And so for the AIDS, people with AIDS, they were considered like lepers here in the West. And these people were condemned by being unclean, but like everyone else, were in need of love. But so, like lepers were considered unclean, the people with AIDS in the West were seen as unseen people too. But these people also needed love, like everyone needs love. Especially those who are terribly suffering, they really need love, even more love than the ones than they have normal lives, because they are really suffering. And these people are dying. Family members were ignoring them. They were dying. They really need someone to love them. That's why Mother Teresa came with the sisters to love them, to talk to them about God, because God loves everyone. And then, in those circumstances, still they could accept Jesus, they could accept God in the last moments of their lives. And they could still change their mind, they could change their lives if they accepted the love of God and Jesus and themselves. And many accepted, really. And so in 1986, Mother Teresa met again the President of the United States, who encouraged her to open a second center in America for the victims of AIDS. And soon after, she opened a new home, the Gift of Peace, called Gift of Peace, for AIDS sufferers in Washington. During the 80s, more houses for AIDS were opened in various places of the world, including San Francisco, in case of America, San Francisco, Colorado, and then in Ethiopia, and many more countries. And Mother Teresa made a special request to the medical workers to be particularly sensitive to the leprosy of the West, these were the AIDS people suffering of AIDS. That was incredible, because she was always in touch with the co-workers, doctors, the association of Mother Teresa, and she was always talking to them about helping these people suffering. She was really concerned about them. So, but it was tremendously beautiful what she was doing, as you all know. So, in the meantime, Mother Teresa was also tremendously concerned concerned with the famine in Africa, and she and her sisters went and assisted some of the countries, including Sudan, Kenya, and Tanzania. And in later, Mother Teresa suffered an aircraft accident in which 5 people died. So in one of these countries, it was in Tanzania, Mother Teresa suffered an accident, and in this accident, Mother Teresa, apparently she had a small accident, but 5 people died in that. They were in a plane, and these 5 people died in that. It was a negative side of it. But really, she was visiting all these countries, doing as much as she could to feed the people in need, who are in need of food. And so she visited also communist countries in the 80s. For instance, Cuba. She visited Cuba, which up until then it was impossible for her to go there, to Cuba, and by now President Fidel Castro, had showed an interest in improving government relations with the Roman Catholic Church, and so he allowed the missionaries of charity to come to his country, Fidel Castro. For those who don't know, Fidel Castro was the president of Cuba, and he died in 2016, but he had these strict rules in this country, quite contrary to the general countries around the world, and so it was difficult to go to this country. But he accepted missionaries of charity to help the country, which was good, awesome. In 1986. Also, Brother Andrew, the main link of the Brothers branch of Missionaries of Charity, for those who watched the previous episodes, you already mentioned as well Brother Andrew. There was the main link, the leader of the branch of the Brothers branch Missionaries of Charity. He offered his resignation in 1986 due to his drinking issues. So he was wonderful. This Brother Andrew was wonderful. He was in many ways similar to the principles of Mother Teresa. Was following the principles of Mother Teresa, and he was similar to many things that Mother Teresa had, good things. Like the spirit of poverty, like the spirit of so many good things, of love. He was in many things similar to Mother Teresa, but he had some issues with alcohol, and so he offered his resignation in 1986. He felt that it was not the right person to lead an organization such as that, a religious organization. He had to have many responsibilities, but because of his alcohol problems, he couldn't deal with it. And so he gave the resignation. And Mother Teresa was not aware until he informed her of his weakness. and she accepted and told him this, and told Brother Andrew this. Tell your brothers, she said, tell your brothers, if they don't want to be holy, they can go home. So, Brother Andrew, because of his alcohol, he was not holy. Although he was very good with many things, but he was not holy because this alcohol contaminated him. He was kind of darkness inside him, a stain inside him that would stain his body, his mind with alcohol. How could he be clean and holy if he had this alcohol inside his body? No, he couldn't. And so that's why Mother Teresa said, tell your brothers, because if Brother Andrew had other people like him with addiction for alcohol, this was not the right job for them. Like it was not the right job for Brother Andrew, it was not the right job for other people that were following the same path as Brother Andrew. And so they had to go home. It was what Mother Teresa said to them, told them. Then, like saying, look, this is not this is not a job for you because of this. Then you go home. You'll be better at home than here walking with all these people. You have to be holy. So, because Brother Andrew was not only one, some brothers and sisters had also left as well because of issues, alcohol and other issues. They had to leave. They couldn't be in association if they were not holy. And so that was the rules that they had to follow, and they understood. And Mother Teresa continued having good people with her, and people with a sound mind without these addictions. People had to be around her, health people with a healthy mind. And so, everyone would understand that. But for now, we are finalizing this episode. I hope you took something from this today, from what Mother Teresa did, a concern with famine, the resignation of Brother Andrew, the need for people to be holy if they really want to give love to people, and so other things more. And so it is always a pleasure to talk about Mother Teresa, because really, she's really is an inspiration for all of us. And you are not going to be like her or not do exactly what she did, but you can follow some steps, because we have this love that God gave to all of us that can spread to the world, to people, like God gave love to Mother Teresa as well to do what she did. We have this in us, and we have a natural tendency as well to do good like her, in a different ways, but you can do similar things and like Mother Teresa. So, hope you enjoyed. Personally I enjoyed it. And for now, God bless you. And thank